Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is my very first video on a specific topic that I'm passionate about. Like I stated in the last video, I'm going to talk about breastfeeding. And so I'd like to jump right into it. And I want to talk about breastfeeding in regards to how we view it in our society, not only in our society, but also in our family cultures. It's a culture issue. It's a culture issue about being frowned upon. We frowned upon it. We kind of sort of see it as something it is not, okay? Now, I want to invite you to take a new perspective if you feel differently about it than I do. I want to invite you to come into this video and listen with an open mind, right? So what I want to do is help people see it in a new light, and be open-minded about why the percentages are low and what we as a society, right, as a culture, how we can change this with different attitudes, with a welcoming mindset, etc. So in the way that I'd like to do this is by sharing an analogy with you that I came up with. Now, this analogy, the purpose of it is to help us make a connection. Trust me on this. It's going to sound a little off at first, but there is a connection for sure. So basically my analogy, the way that I want to make a connection is, think of a classroom, okay? So a classroom is designed for learning and teaching, from the way the board is positioned to how the tables and chairs are positioned to where the teacher is sitting or standing. It's an atmosphere for learning and teaching. However, we do know that a classroom can be used for other activities, right? We could use it for a pizza party. We can use a classroom to conduct meetings. These are things that can happen outside of what it's intended for. Probably doesn't make sense to conduct a meeting and have a classroom going on at the same time, or same with a pizza party. However, you can learn to decompartmentalize each thing, right? One thing has nothing to do with the other, but both can occur at different times. So the reason why I say this is because, right, breasts are made for feeding babies. That's what the purpose were, always for. From the way the veins are lined up, from the way the ducts work, right? We have ducts, I'm saying it incorrectly. D-U-C-T-S, ducts. They are positioned in ways that help with lactation production, for letdown, right, of the milk. That's the classroom. It's for teaching and learning, and the breast is for that as well. The pizza party or the meeting can be conducted as well at different times. One thing has nothing to do with the other. And I think part of the reason why culturally, nationally, family cultures, we have viewed it as something demonized. We have demonized breastfeeding because we have confused the pizza party with the classroom for learning and teaching. We think of it as just one occurrence. It is not. It is not one occurrence. It's two different things. And the power in viewing it in a way that is not positive is that it decreases the amount of moms who will feel comfortable enough to breastfeed their child. Now, if you think of breastfeeding also as a continuation, right, from when the baby is feeding from the mom and from the umbilical cord, what the mom eats, the baby eats, getting all the nutrients, there's a connection, right? We can see that that is, if you would like to see it in a positive, right, you can see that it's a continuation of that. You're going from the umbilical mommy to baby feeding, from one process to another process. Most people know how wonderful it is, how good it is for both baby and mom. But also another point I wanted to make in regards to this is not only is it wonderful, but it is not like turning on a faucet. It is not so easy, so simple. It can be, naturally to some. The reason why I say this is that another deterrent for people to do this is because there's this idea around, I don't have enough milk, right? It's only been a couple of days, couple of hours since you had a baby. Oh, I tried, it doesn't work. Yeah, it can be difficult. Absolutely. It can be a little tricky. There's a learning curve. Another analogy I want to use with this is that when we learn to drive, although the car is automatic and should be pretty natural, there's a learning curve, right? In the beginning when we do it, it's a learning process. We're learning each thing and we're nervous and we're probably a little stressed. But as we learn it and it gets easier, we don't even think about it. It becomes an automatic thing. That is what happens with breastfeeding too in the beginning. It can feel like nothing's happening. It can feel frustrating. Although that's not always the case for everybody. If you've tried doing it 1 day, 2 days, you think nothing's coming out, maybe there's about maybe 5 mLs or so coming out. It's not a lot, but that baby's stomach is very, very tiny. So it doesn't require a lot. If that baby wants to feed like every hour or every 40 minutes or do that, that's actually the most perfect thing you can do. Because the more you do that, the more your body produces it. And to piggyback on this as well, I want to say, you know, there are factors that when you deliver a baby, there are factors that come into play that may delay that process a little bit of the milk production. And, you know, there are medications being taken when you deliver. Your body's under stress. Those are factors that can delay that process. It doesn't mean you don't have it. It doesn't mean your body doesn't make it. It's gonna come around. It's gonna come around, right? So breastfeeding can be multifactorial in some ways. However, if you are someone who doesn't want to do it, if you are someone who have tried and don't think this is for you, there's a lot of empathy and compassion for you for that. It is understanding. It is understandable. But I think that understanding both ends and both sides is so important. Because you had a difficult experience doesn't make it something you should frown upon. It doesn't make it something you should discourage someone else. Everybody's experience is their own, and everyone handles things differently. So I also want to make a personal connection with this. As a child who grew up in Cape Verde, who only saw breastfeeding happening, I barely ever saw kids being fed with bottles. Not until they were a little older and were having regular milk. I can tell you that even though I was 9 when I moved here, 9 years old, that impacted me enough that when it was time for me to become a mom, I didn't even think twice. So those dynamics that you see in our society and in our families, right? Like my mother did it, my sisters did it, people close to me did it. I only ever saw that. So for me, I didn't think twice about whether or not I should do it. I just knew that was something I was going to do. So if, you took me and put me in a different atmosphere, a different environment where we didn't do it, why would I think to do it, right? So the purpose of this video is just to ask my viewers and everyone who was willing to openly listen with an open mind, I want to say to you, make it your business to make someone comfortable. Make it your business to be welcoming about it, to be open about it. No mother should feel uncomfortable or judged or frowned upon because she's trying to feed her baby from her body, which was intended to do so. You know, we're living in a time where everything and anything goes. We're living in a time where we are inclusive with a lot of things, a lot of situations. We're compassionate more now than ever. And I believe that this is something that should have already been on that bandwagon. We should already be showing compassion and inclusion for it. Why not put up signs in your restaurants and your businesses, big or small, welcoming mothers to breastfeed? That they are welcome to do that. Small but important gesture that will make someone feel okay. I know. I mean, I was gonna go to a different room, or I was gonna go in the car. Now, how uncomfortable is that? And how constrained, like, just not cool, man. You know, we are in 2024 and we are accepting all kinds of things. We can accept a mother feeding her child. Should be the most natural, welcoming thing that there is. So this is my plea. I'm asking you all to, you know, do your part. Be part of the movement, be part of the change, be part of the reason why we do this so easily and openly and in a respectful manner, in a welcoming manner, that someone with a baby can feel comfortable enough feeding their baby, you know? I know for sure, as someone who did feed my babies, regardless of being welcomed places, I sometimes, for my own sake, would feel a little uncomfortable, right? So there's already that underlying uncomfortableness. And then imagine getting looks on top of that. That doesn't help the situation, you know? But if I'm at least comfortable enough, I will do it. I'll find a way to gracefully do it where I feel dignified and I feel okay. And not have to go hide in some closet or some bathroom, which I never did, and I don't recommend this to anybody. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't care where you are and what they say. You do not go to the bathroom to breastfeed your baby. You know? I know that this video is going to many people, different backgrounds, men, women, are going to see this. And I hope and I'm praying that it will be just as important for the men as it is for the women. Men, you play a role in this too. You have a responsibility as well to make women feel comfortable and not be judgy, you know, because if there are other things that you can see and feel comfortable with, and, you know, let's not demonize this. We are in 2024. We're all about inclusion with everything. We should already had been at the point where we are more welcoming and more respectful and less judgmental, because there's no reason to be judgmental about this, you know. But I'm gonna end this here. My plea is for you to view the video, share it with somebody you know, or just put it up on your social media. Have somebody take a look as well. You know, I want to spread positivity, and I want to do something small in a big way. And I think that by putting these out and having you help share it could likely make a difference. I think that at least it takes one to advocate, motivate, and push forward a good message. So I thank you for your time, for watching this. I know it got a little lengthier than I wanted it to be, but it's authentic and I was just pouring from the heart. So please do feel free to share, and also to click on the next video, see what I'm talking about next. See you guys there.